Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, mic check. All right.
Welcome to the Windy City Rundown. What the hell? Oh, there it is. Hi. And welcome to another great episode of the Windy City Rundown. Hi, I'm Eric Avila, and I'm by myself. Jose Contreras will be joining me a little later on in the show. But as always, guys, follow us, like us on our Facebook and YouTube page, share on your Facebook page, hit that subscribe button on our YouTube page, comment on our show for today. The link will be in the comment section shortly, as I am doing this by myself, but I'll get there. I will get there. The link, there it is. If you guys want to join us, talk to us, or join us in the comment section too as well. Like I said, follow us on our other social media platforms on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. And yes, we are here live by myself, and there is a lot to get into. The Chicago Bulls finally made a move that was long overdue. We'll get into a little about that. The Chicago Cubs lost Cade Horton for the year, having Tommy John surgery. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? We will talk into a little bit of wrestling today in WrestleMania as it falls upon next week. And then the FIFA ball of the week. Yes, Eric's FIFA balls are going to be there. Look, what's up? Or join like John. John, what's up, bro? What up, Johnny P? Hopefully you're doing well, my guy. But yeah, join us. We have a lot to get into today, a lot to talk about. And honestly, it's just strictly and mainly all about the Chicago Bulls and let's just be honest, the shit show that the Chicago Bulls have been doing or have been for the last 10, 15, 20 years, give or take. But the Chicago Bulls finally fired AK and Mark Eversley. I didn't even know Mark Eversley was a real human. I thought he was a robot. I thought he was AI. I thought he was something. He was something. It was a person. Now, apparently, he was the GM of the Chicago Bulls. Who fucking knew? I didn't even know who he was. He never showed his face. He never even spoke. Everybody, the only person that spoke was Arturas Karnisovas. And now the Chicago Bulls are rebuilding, quote unquote, right? Now the Chicago Bulls have fired their GM and their basketball ops in Arturo Karnisovas and Mark Eversley, which leaves a position open. I think I might apply because it's a very low standard for the Chicago Bulls at this point on what they want for their organization. Might as well just give it a shot. But the news that has been coming out for the last couple of days after the Chicago Bulls fired those two incompetent guys that were running the Bulls, has been that the next GM that comes in or the next basketball operations person that's coming in needs to work with Billy Donovan. Apparently, Billy Donovan is the new guy, or is the guy that the Bulls want to build around or have the head coach in that aspect. So we'll see how that goes. But to go with this, right? Finally fired them after 7 years, 6 years, however long it's been since they were here. I mean, it's just they've only had a stretch of 6 months, 4 months where they had the Chicago Bulls up in arms, excited about the Chicago Bulls, fast-paced basketball. Yes, they kind of blew up the old regime, kind of built the new one with Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic, all that. They only had a good 3-4 month stretch, and after that, it's just been a downhill spiral after that. Nothing really changed. They never traded anybody to make the team better or to make the team worse, right? They didn't do anything. They didn't do anything to, again, improve the team. They didn't. They went almost a full calendar year, 2 NBA seasons, maybe an NBA season and a half, where they didn't do any type of trades whatsoever. They kept status quo. Everything was good. They drafted horribly. I mean, Patrick Williams, Dalen Terry, just to name 2 people that they drafted that really hasn't made an impact whatsoever other than highway robbery of Patrick Williams of $90 million. And don't get me wrong, I am the first one here to admit that I had high hopes for Patrick Williams simply because of the age and what he came and what he could become. The ceiling was just because of the ceiling, right? I was wrong. Eric Avila sometimes occasionally gets things wrong. Rare, but I get them wrong. And just one of those instances to where nothing felt right. They didn't know how to build a team. It felt like the team that was being, or the GM and the basketball operations person didn't know what they were doing, right? We were just on this high, on this expectation of, they found a Joker, in the second round to where they won an NBA title a year or 2 before he came over here to the Chicago Bulls. And now it's just one of those situations to where it's like, okay, we have high hopes because this guy knows what he's doing. At least we think he knows what he's doing. And it comes to find out that they did it. Came to find out that they don't know what they were doing. Came to find out that they don't know how to draft a person. The only thing that they probably got right was probably the hire of Billy Donovan, or getting Billy Donovan to stay and to be the coach, right? I've always said, and I've always believed for the last year and a half or so, maybe 2, was the fact that Billy Donovan is really getting the shorter end of the stick. And Billy Donovan was that guy that was just there. He was a really good coach. I really do believe in Billy Donovan. I think he has a good system. I think he is a quality NBA coach. It's just the team that he's coaching at the moment doesn't give him the support, doesn't give him that just doesn't give him what he needs to become successful. And I think that's really hurting the Chicago Bulls at this point, is that there is no direction. There is nobody that take the Bulls by the horn. And in all reality, when the opportunity to come up here and face reality and just face the adversity, Michael Reinsdorf, who is sort of, I guess, the owner or the person that actually runs Bulls operation, and his dad, Jerry Reinsdorf, does the White Sox or whatever the case may be. I don't know how that works between the Reinsdorf, but none of the fact that he doesn't care. Like when you're trying to tell me something and you're reading it from a piece of paper and you're really not giving me like eye contact, I really do believe you're full of shit. And everything that you're saying is not sincere. And everything that you want to say is not really how, like really how you feel. At least in the sports aspect. In a human being, life interaction, it's a whole different story. But as a person who runs a $1 billion corporation that we spent, well, I haven't spent my money, but hypothetically that we spend our money, our time, and our effort to watch your team, watch our product, watch the team that we love and support, to go out there and you're just giving me shit and you really don't care. I think to me right there, that's the point that you honestly, you don't. You really do not care about what the Chicago Bulls are. And what they are right now at the moment is garbage, shit. Like there is literally nothing at this point that makes me believe that they're going to get this right. To which is why the name of the show today is They're Really Light at the End of the Tunnel. Because the Reinsdorf do not give me hope. The White Sox have hope because at least in 2030, the Reinsdorf would not be a good, or the Rhinosaurs won't have no type of or majority ownership to run that team. To me, that's light at the end of the tunnel. To me, that is hope for the Chicago White Sox in the future. For me, that feels like it will get turned around sooner rather than later. As for the Chicago Bulls, the Reinsdorf still own or still going to have a great majority of decisions to make on that team. And now you're telling me like I don't see it. I definitely do not see. I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. Yes, this is a right step to a rebuild. Yes, this is the great step to go for. But in all reality, for what? Like where? Like what is the end game at this? Because this is 2 years too long. They should have been gone a long time ago. AK traded away DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Nikola Vucevic, Ayo DeSumo, Alex Caruso. Who else did he trade that's on the top of it? I literally named the starting five for the last 3 years, or 3 years, 4 years of the Chicago Bulls. And all we got was one first-round draft pick. That was ours, and a shitload of second-round draft picks that won't even be affected, or we won't even receive until 3 or 4 years down the road. So again, I'm telling you people, and let me know in the comments if I'm right or if I'm wrong. If you want to join in, the link is in the comment in the bio in the comment section. But where is the light at the end of the tunnel? Where is this whole vision of the new Chicago Bulls? Because now they want to keep Billy Donovan in the Chicago Bulls organization. Do you fail him up? Is he your new GM or basketball ops? Which a lot of people, and I've been reading and also been hearing that a lot of people feel like Billy Donovan is capable or more than capable to have that position. Then great. Then if you think that, or people do believe that, people with higher knowledge than me, higher knowledge and the knowledge of basketball around the NBA, around this first 48 that has basketball teams in, if they're really saying that that Billy Donovan is that guy, then hire him. If you want to keep him, I guess fail him up, I guess you can say, because he hasn't been putting his team in the right direction of succeeding. But with the lack of talent, it's hard to do that. But he's a smart guy, and I do see it. Let's go into the comment section real quick. John says, "Nah, Billy has to go." So he's been the believer that if AK and Mark Eversley go, so does Billy Donovan. That's not a bad idea either. I mean, if you want to really trust this full rebuild, do it right now. Do it like that. I there is no wrong answer with that, John. I agree. John said, it's sad that big as the Bulls' name is in the NBA history, we can't even be competitive or relevant. John, let me put a little bit the history of the Chicago Bulls, because the history of the Chicago Bulls is they've only had a stretch in the late 80s all the way to the 90s, and that's it. Because the Chicago Bulls, in reality, without Michael Jordan and that run in the 90s, they are probably as irrelevant as they come. They're about as mediocre as they come and see. Because the Bulls don't have a rich history. They just only have Michael Jordan and the 90s. That's pretty much it. We've only gotten 2 or 3 years of Derrick Rose, and that's it. After that, it's been mediocrity. It's been shit. It's been trash. It's been everything that's been under the sun, under the light of the Chicago Bulls and what the Chicago Bulls organization really is. And a lot of people don't see that. Like, go as far back. The Bulls were established in '66. Everything before Jordan was ass. Maybe an appearance in the playoffs or 2 here. Jordan comes, brings back the Bulls to life, playoff appearance, this and that. Michael Jordan is that guy. The 90s, we know about it because it has been written, it has been filmed, it has been said. A lot of the old heads can't get away from it because Jordan is Jordan and it is what it is. People here in Chicago sports fans love the nostalgic feeling of their sports teams. So that's why we can't get rid of Michael Jordan. Plus, his brand is everywhere. Fucking in college basketball, merchandise, shoes. People still wear shoes nowadays. So it's hard to get rid of Jordan in that aspect. But in the Bulls' perspective, after that, there's really nothing. After Jordan and the Bulls in the 90s, it's been ass after ass after ass after ass after ass after ass. And then we got lucky with Derrick Rose. And then we've had 3 years, 4 years maybe, but definitely 3 of really good basketball with Derrick Rose. Blows out his ACL, blows out his MCL, blow out whatever it is. We all turn on Derrick Rose because he is soft as it can be, and nobody supports him, even though he is Chicago's very own. But the narrative was out there saying that Derrick Rose is soft. We trade him away, and it's been ass after ass after ass after ass. They said we're gonna get young and athletic, and we get Derek, and we get Dwayne Wade and Rajon Rondo. And then it's been ass after ass after ass after ass. And then somehow, some way, we trade Zach LaVine. We get Zach LaVine here, trade away Jimmy Butler. We have a little 4-month gap or a 4 month of success. Lonzo Ball blows whatever the fuck he blows in his legs. And then it's been ass after that. That has been the whole history of the Chicago Bulls from 1966 to 2026. And the truth of the matter is, without Jordan, the Bulls would not been relevant. Under Jerry Reinsdorf, the Bulls are not relevant whatsoever. But we got to thank Michael Jordan, and we do this whole nostalgic thing of bringing back the Ring of Honor and Bulls Night and Derrick Rose retirement party for 2 years in a row, 2 seasons in a row, just for people to come back and do this and do that. And yet we still fall for it because we're that type of fan base that we live on nostalgic reasons. And yet somehow, some way, Michael Jordan does not step in this building, does not step into the building that he built. Mind you, Jordan has not been back to Chicago or stepped into United Center in almost 20 years because he's came back before. But he is, for somehow, some way, there is no relationship between the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan. And I'm telling you guys that this is the life of the. So tell me where in everything, my little baby rant that I just went, tell me where you guys see the light at the end of the tunnel that they're going to get this right. Where? How? How are the Bulls going to? It took a guy and his religious beliefs and what he felt was real for and public humiliation from the national media about Jaden Ivey and his religious belief to fire A.K. Mark Evans. It took them. It wasn't trading away the core for 25 draft picks, second-round draft picks that we're going to get in 3 years. It wasn't the fact that we did not get a first-round draft pick for any of those guys, that we took too long to trade those guys to get the first-round picks or picks in general, second-round picks at this point. It took too long, and it took national humiliation for them to finally like, go, so where in God's green earth do you guys feel? Do I feel where? Tell me, please, where do we find that this is going to work, that this rebuild is going to work? Let me get to the comment section because it's been going on real quick, guys. And that was my little baby rant. That's going to be on our socials. Trust me. John says, Jerry won't care because he still makes bank every season, regardless of the product on the court. 110%. And that is our fault, John. That is the fault of all the Chicago fan base. Now, it also doesn't help that the Chicago Bulls has the biggest NBA stadium in the NBA. So it's 22,000 feet or 22,000 fans or 20,000 fans. And even selling 12, 13, 14,000 seats or whatever the case may be, it's still going to be top up there because there's not that big of they're not big stadiums out there in the NBA that fill to that capacity. So it could be both ways. You know what I'm saying? Like I can see that. CP, what up, my guy? John, yeah, he misses you. I miss you too, John. What's up, CP? Hope you're doing well. My boy Tony, what's up? Donovan should be the GM and move on. Tony, that's not a bad idea because like I mentioned before, Billy Donovan is well respected and throughout the whole, literally throughout basketball, from college to NBA. And a lot of people are saying, and I believe it too, Billy Donovan is a smart guy. And I can see it. I could definitely see it too as well. From the little improvements, I guess you can say, from whatever he's been coaching, but like he's been writing a bad ship that they have given him. Jerry and Michael Reinsdorf has given Billy Donovan a ship with holes to go across the sea, fuck, even Lake Michigan, for all I care. But I believe it. There's love between there. Jose will be joining us a little later. His son had football practice, so he'll be hopping on pretty soon. I know he has a lot to say about this too as well. So he'll be in there. What's up, Eric the GOAT, CP, my guy. Missed you, man. Hope everything is well. Tony, I'm sorry, my guy. But it's the truth. I mean, you're not old. you're young at heart. I see you as a young man still, Tony. I appreciate you, but you know what I'm talking about. Like, that's how long it's been since '66. I don't know how long you've seen it, but it is. My boy Jay, what's up, my guy? Joe, I hope you're good, bro. What's up, bro? Sadly, the Bulls are not worth talking about right now. No, you're absolutely right. They're not. They're really not. But at the end of the day, though, Jay, the fact of the matter is like the only reason why we're getting such attention, the Bulls are getting attention, is because they're doing everything wrong. Just doing everything wrong. Like, they haven't done anything that makes you believe like this is going to work at whatever case may be, whenever it's going to be. And you're absolutely right. Like, the season finally ends this week. But it's just like, why would an organization take so long to fire a guy who is so incompetent, who gave Patrick Williams 5 years, $90 million, who can't even make double digits in scoring, who barely gets on the court, who even makes an impact outside of NBA leagues in like the last 2 games of the season? Like, he makes no impact. And like, those are fireable offenses. Like, those are offenses that real NBA organizations, just sports organizations in general, see that and will let them go a year or two ago. But the Chicago Bulls and Jerry Reinsdorf probably is like, his best and worst trait is loyalty. And him being loyal to whoever it is that comes into his building, it is a great feeling to have somebody of that high in power have that trust in you. But then also, that's his biggest default and his biggest flaw, because that trust, like, he wants to accomplish that contract because he is too cheap to let them go so early and let them go and still earn him money and still still owe them money, should I say. And it's like, dude, like, you have the money. Like, you have the money. You own 2 organizations. You own a baseball team and you own a basketball team. Both teams, especially the basketball team, that's probably going to be worth 12 billion dollars. And if you sell the White Sox, you're going to get $1 billion just because of the name Chicago alone. Doesn't matter what you put on that baseball field, just the name Chicago. And just because you're only like 15 on a good day, 15 minutes to 30 minutes from your stadium to downtown Chicago, but just having the name Chicago in front of your team's name guarantees you $1 billion. It's what you do with it is where it comes more. The stadium, look, my gripe with the Chicago White Sox and my fandom of why I don't like the Chicago White Sox is one thing. And I'm going to tell you guys straight up, that stadium is really nice. The stadium is nice. The food is always good, so they say. Everything about that stadium is probably one of the top baseball stadiums in all of baseball, right? But it's just, again, it's not what you have, is what you build. And obviously, like I said, the name Chicago in front of your shirt just says a lot. I'll go into the comments. I feel better if that Starbucks manager sold the Bulls, but you know what happens with the new management. No, 100% CP. I mean, look, I want to apply for the GM job because I feel like I can do that job 10 times better than those 2 that just left, bro. Like, I may not be real in depth in basketball, but God, I can tell you I can do a job way more better than what those 2 have been giving me for the last 6-7 years. Like, I can guarantee you, and I can feel it. I know I can. At least we're not in the play. Oh my God, CP, you're absolutely right, and I'm glad we're not in the conversation. But again, like we tank again. This is how bad we are. Like, we tank our season too late. Like, we start losing too late. Like, we were too high. We were in the playing game or in the playing tournament or whatever that is. Before we started taking them, like we play so bad that we're not even the worst team in the NBA. Like, that's crazy. Like, there's like 4 more teams worse than the Chicago Bulls right now. That's just because how badly it's ran. It's horribly ran. And it just pisses me off. Because I get the games still get packed. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, John. Like, it's not me. Like, I've been boycotting the Chicago Bulls for the last 5 years. Like, the last year, I was having a segment that I was going to use my sports mulligan on the Chicago Bulls. I was going to cheer on a whole new basketball organization simply because, like, the incompetent of how this team is being ran throughout my life as a Bulls fan. This organization has been shit. Like, I know I'm a 90s baby. I was born in 91, but fuck, I barely remember the last two championships of 97 and 98. I barely remember it. I was just there. Like, I wasn't grasping anything. It wasn't until Derrick Rose. It wasn't until as I got older to where I felt and I started to understand the game of basketball. But then after that, it's pure dog shit. Like, I can't be talking shit here and be like, oh, yeah, Michael Jordan's in the 90s, when I can't even remember, when I could barely remember the last shot and where I was at my uncle's house in Lansing, watching the final at his house, the little box TV, 18 inches. Right? Like, but that's all I can say, bro. Like, I've never saw Michael Jordan in his greatness. The only time I saw my remembrance of Michael Jordan a lot was when he played for the Washington Wizards. Michael Jordan as a Washington Wizards was probably my best memory of Michael Jordan. And we had him in Chicago. Like, that says a lot there. And Space Jam. Washington Wizards and Space Jam was literally me remembering Michael Jordan. That's saying a lot. CP said, you know what's crazy? Like, if it wasn't for MJ and Rose, I think we would have forced to sell the of the teams. Michael Jordan's legacy is the only thing that's keeping Jerry afloat. 100%. I mentioned that, you know. I said that earlier in the show. Like, yeah, like it's that. It is that. It is the fact that the 90s are so nostalgic for not just for all the Chicago Bulls fans and fans around the world. Like, that's the thing. That's what's keeping the Bulls up above water, head above water, is the fact that Michael Jordan built that stadium that they're playing in currently, right? That you look up in the rafters and you see 23 and you see 91, 92, 93. You see 95, 96 or 97, 98 and 99 or 96, 97 and 98. Sorry. You see the names up there. You see Scotty next to him. You see Phil Jackson and Love and everybody else. And now you see Derrick Rose. Like, that's what you see in the rafters. Like, you see basketball history. Like, you see basketball gold. Like, you see that up there. Like, the statue that's up outside of the stadium. Like, you see that. And you're like, holy shit. Like, I am in the stadium where Michael Jordan built. But that's it. Like, my biggest thing was when Jose went to the Derrick Rose retirement party, bro. Like, they should have done that shit last year. You know, like, do it all. Y'all had a big ass night for Derrick Rose. Like, y'all did the whole nine and everything last year, and it's just like it was a money grab. Like, I was saying that throughout the whole entire time. Like, and I don't understand it, and people yet still go, man. Like, it's horrible. John says, this city loves basketball 100%. Jerry keeps slapping us in the face every fucking year. He doesn't give a fuck. He's like, oh, you guys don't like this player? Fine, I'll trade him for peanuts. It's not Jerry. It's the ones that are running there. It's 8K and Mark Eversley that make those decisions. Obviously, they have to run it through Jerry Reinsdorf, but again, at the same time, it's like those decisions come from the team that run basketball ops. Your general manager and your basketball operations. And those were the two guys, Mark Eversley and Arturo Carnasovis. So CP says, I'm stunned we didn't get a first for Vooch, Ayo, or Kobe White. Look, Kobe White, another player. And look, they're going out and they're balling where they're at. Ayo in Minnesota. Like, who does that? Like, don't get me started, CP. Kobe White, motherfuckers got 4 first rounders for Gobert and Bridges. Dude, again, that comes with mismanaging. That comes with players not GMs and people in higher positions not understanding what the fuck they have, like, or what the hell they're doing. At least what they are doing. That's the big one right there. Like, we have people that do not know what they are doing. We have people that just feel like they know they had a job because the guy that's above them wouldn't let them go because he didn't want to owe them money from whatever amount of money that they were left in the contract. Like, mind you, like 8K Mark Eversley were down to 1 year left into the remaining contract before they got fired. 1 year before they left, before they got fired, before they got let go on Monday. 1. So, mind you, this had to be done 2 years ago. Like, this is what they're doing now. They were supposed to be done 2 years ago, where DeMar DeRozan had value. where Vucevic had value, where Zach LaVine somewhat still had value just because of the name and I guess the number, whatever the case may be. Alex Caruso, and then whoever came afterwards. Like first round value, you still had on these guys, and yet they said, like, when was it? Wasn't it a report like last year or something like that somebody was up for a trade block, and like the Bulls were giving first rounders, and they said no. Like, wasn't that Vucevic? Like somebody go back and remind me of that, because I really felt like I really heard that the Bulls had it was Drummond. That's who it was. Andre Drummond had multiple first round picks to get traded away from Chicago, and they still kept them. It was from right there, and we should have noticed this. We should have noticed this by now. Really quick before I go into most of the comment section, because there's a lot, and I do appreciate you guys for hopping on. Tony, CP, John. I saw my boy Isaiah. You're doing good. I'm about to read your comment right now. Thank you guys for joining us. As always, guys, please share our shows on your Facebook page to help us, grow this platform. I really appreciate you guys. Hit the little bell on the Facebook page and also on our YouTube page to get notified when our shows are live every Wednesday, at 7 p.m. Like and subscribe on our YouTube page too as well. So I really appreciate the love and support. Thank you guys for hopping on today. As this is Windy City Rundown here on Facebook and also on YouTube. My boy, Zay, what's up, Zay? Billy Donovan's cool. It's just bad luck with injuries. Nah, look, bro. I would want to say that like the injury bug is a thing, but it's also the lack of talent that he's been given to as well. Like first round picks and just the team built around him, right? And I get it. Giddey has been hurt. Matas has been hurt lately. And then I get that, but it's still not top quality players that will take you to the next step. These are players that you could probably possibly start a rebuild with and see what you get on in later in life. But right now, it's not looking good, bro. Giovanni says even when they do something right, it don't last. Like I don't even know when they've done things right, other than getting lucky. Like I don't remember. Nothing comes across my mind to where I believe, with my mind and my heart and my soul, where the Bulls have done things right. Like I don't. Right? Like we felt like they did things right when Derrick Rose first tore his ACL and got Marcus Teagues. Well, they needed a point guard. Okay, cool. Tom Thibodeau wanted Draymond Green. How did that work out? The one that gets me the most, when you said they wanted to go young and athletic, this is where my dislikeness and my lost faith of the Chicago Bulls organization started. And I know it was a different regime, but when they said young and athletic and they go with Rajon Rondo and Dwayne Wade. Now, I know what you guys are going to say. Like, oh, if Rajon Rondo was still healthy, we probably got out of the first round. Okay. That's it. Just first out of the first round. After that, what? Like, no championship aspirations, no nothing. Like, we were just going to be excited to get out of the first round because we haven't gotten out of the first round since Derrick Rose time. Like, like that's the shit that bothers me the most, that the bar is set so low that we expect mediocrity to be the best thing for our organizations. And like that even didn't feel right. Like none of this felt right. Zach LaVine getting that contract, I told you guys over and over again in multiple shows that giving him that contract was the worst idea. But it proves loyalty. It brings players in, blah, blah, blah. What players came in after giving Zach LaVine that contract? DeMar DeRozan, did that help the team? Lonzo Ball, did that help the team in the long run? Nikola Vucevic on the contract, did that help? Like, and you're right, even when they do something right, it doesn't last. No, even when they do something right, it doesn't feel right. At least in your perspective, my perspective. But the fact of the matter is, like, this organization is so incompetent in everything that they do that there is no such thing as doing it right. They got lucky with Derrick Rose. Fuck, we even go back to MJ. They got lucky. It was Hakeem Olajuwon and Bowie to Portland. Michael Jordan was the third pick of the NBA draft. Just because the Portland Trail Blazers had Clyde Drexler, the reason why they didn't get Michael Jordan. Fuck, Michael Jordan fell on your fucking lap. It wasn't just because they did it right. It's because they got fucking lucky and they built that luck right there. They built it. They did what the things were right. Hence the 90s and nostalgia era right there. Still, like, it doesn't feel right. CP says, my only hope is jumping that lottery and somehow landing AJ or Boozer. We can actually have a shot, man. That's a long. See, again, and it goes well with this conversation that I just had, or my little statement that I had. Like, yes, like, that's the only way, but we have to get lucky. We have to hope and pray that the Portland Trailblazers don't make the playoffs in order for us to have their pick higher, right? We have to hope and pray that the lottery balls somehow, some way fall to our lap, because at this moment we're going to be in the top 10. We're not going to get those type of players. It just has to fall. But again, mind you, like I said, even if it feels right, even if we get lucky, do you even trust this organization to find the right people to build this team back up? There is no light at the end of this tunnel. Like, I do not see it. Like, I don't. As long as I see Reinsdorf owner, I don't trust or don't believe this organization. I don't. And even if they do, CP, do they find the right people? That's the big question. CP says, look how quickly the Spurs are back on top of the NBA. They were asked for what, 2-3 years? Ownership means everything, man. 110% ownership. Greg Popovich. Greg Popovich is another great example. Look what the Bulls did with Phil Jackson, and then just go down that list. Who did they replace Phil Jackson with? Tim Floyd. Circus of head coaches coming in before Tom Thibodeau. And after Tom Thibodeau, who do we get? Who the fuck did we get? What do we get? Fuck, what's his name? Iowa State guy. Fred Hoiberg. It came to me. Fred Hoiberg. And what happened? Circus. The fucking bald guy that we had for about a season and a half, too, before we got Billy Donovan. It's a circus. Like, if they don't do it right. So, like, again, like, yes, you're right. It starts with ownership. But if the ownership is shit on top, it's going to be shitty on the way down. So, like, I don't know. Tony, bro, I lived in the era of artists Gilmore, Reggie Theus, Washington Wood, Orlando Woodridge. So yes, I enjoy the Jordan era. Yeah, and it's great to see, and it's great to see, and it's great to hear, and it's great to watch, and it's great to like hear people talk about that, because Jordan was just one of a kind. Jordan was the one. Jordan, no matter where you find Michael Jordan in your rankings of the NBA greats, you can't have the conversation without starting Michael Jordan. Like, it starts with Michael Jordan, and then everything else is just mishmash all over the place. And then now you start figuring the puzzle of where you want to put people at, right, as your greatest of all time, right? But again, Tony, from a guy of your age, I'm not going to show you out there. You're not that old in my, but a guy your age, like you've seen the transformation, like you've seen it. Like, I'm 34. I never witnessed Jordan in his greatness. Like, I never did. And so again, like, to go back to this nostalgic act that Jerry Reinsdorf loves to do, White Sox too as well. Like, it's just it takes its course. It takes its toll on people that really care about the sport. That's what it is. CP says we were literally on track to be one of the worst 3 teams, but the Bulls went 9-10. 100%, dude. Like, again, they started tanking late. Another thing they can do right. Isaiah says the entire Bulls organization should be drug tested. Yeah, no, for real, dude. I mean, it is sad. It is sad. Vinny Del Negro, another one. Fred Hoiberg, thank you, CP. I finally got there. Jim Boyle, thank you. Like, I mean, look, like, it's not even worth remembering the names. Like, even though they came to me, like, it's not even worth remembering the names of the head coaches, because they weren't so instrumental in making this team good, in making this team great. Like, they weren't. Like, they weren't. They weren't. Like, for me to, like, struggle to remember the head coach's name says a lot on how bad this organization is. And it doesn't seem like it's going to change anytime soon. You know, like, it just pisses me off. That's why I've been boycotting the Chicago Bulls for the last, I don't know, 7 years, 8 years, almost 10 years, since I genuinely liked the Bulls team. Like I was on their bandwagon when they started off hot with Lonzo, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, and Vucevic. And then I just fell off quick because it just wasn't going to work. You know? It just, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'm gonna put out a question out there, maybe for all of us, and probably in our social media platforms. This is the question I'm gonna ask everybody. Like, should I start bringing that sports mulligan back? Should I really go out there and be like, fuck it, you know, just gonna change the basketball team because I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel, right? But see, I don't want to. I don't know, man. It's tough. It's tough to say because it's just. I want to believe. I truly do. I don't want to cheer on another team because I've literally given 20 years of my life to this organization, to this team, through thick and thin, literally thick and thin. And so just to me to switch up on that, like I don't know if I'm capable. Like I'm capable to do that, you know. CP, I turned 31 on Saturday. Happy birthday, CP. Happy early birthday. Yeah, right. On Saturday. Yeah. Happy early birthday. I'll still send you a message, my guy. I really didn't experience the Jordan era, sadly. The Derrick Rose thing was the only shot I had experienced in Bulls greatness. But let's be honest, he never gave Rose that second guy to take the heat off of him, having to do so much, hence the injuries. No, 100% CP, and I agree with you. That's why, to me, like, when we had these conversations in prior episodes, prior podcasts, that I was the one that said that Derrick Rose, the Derrick Rose team, even a healthy Derrick Rose, I never thought that he was going to win an NBA title. Not even close. I genuinely truly feel that Derrick Rose and that Derrick Rose Bulls team wasn't even close to winning a title, even given the same opponents that the Miami Heat had, right? The Spurs, the Warriors. Like, there was those two teams who not only had the experience, but a better team and a better core for them to win, right? The last year of the Heatles, I thought that was probably the only opportunity that the Chicago Bulls had to probably even attempt to make an NBA Finals. That's just my genuine belief with the healthy Derrick Rose. But the one thing that you said right there, CP, they never gave Rose that second guy to take the heat off of him. And 100%, like, how many times out there was Carmelo Anthony's name just blown out there for the Chicago Bulls, right? The fit, right? The fit of Carmelo Anthony to the Chicago Bulls, of him being that guy scoring 30 points, right? Or 20 some odd points, but points when throughout the game, ISO Carmelo Anthony, let him do his thing and he can give us buckets, right? I know that we try to shoot hard for Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade and LeBron James at that time during that free agency. And we got Carlos Boozer. And a lot of people defend Carlos Boozer because he got double-doubles, or he was a double-double machine. But I normally remember Carlos Boozer as a guy that rarely hits or kind of sort of makes his fadeaway jump shots from the mid-range and yells, "Get it, Joe!" That's all I remember Carlos Boozer. Like, he wasn't that big of an effective guy. Yes, he gave me 10 points and 10 boards here and there, or not here and there, but consistently. But get it, Joe. That was it. That was all Carlos Boozer. Just a yeller. Like, nothing. Paul Gasol towards his last legs. another one, right? Jimmy Butler's rise to fame really helped, or really, Jimmy Butler's game kind of only elevated because Derrick Rose wasn't there, because Jimmy Butler was mainly more an ISO player. Now, if he was healthy, it would have been a different story putting them together. But the time that Derrick Rose is off from his knee injuries, like, it was a stranglehold of, like, whose team is it? Jimmy Butler, who's been doing great and has been growing for the last 2-3 years, or the kid that was in the backyard of Inglewood of Derrick Rose? That was the big talking point to where a lot of people didn't believe that, right? He knew we were beating Miami, man. People who let those wins in the season fool them. When it came down to crunch time, it was Rose versus 3 reliable All-Stars. 100% CP. I 100% agree with you on that one. But yeah, like I said, Butler's rise unfortunately came at Rose's downfall. No, yep, 110%, man. And it's one of those conversations to where a lot of people can't fathom to have or come to a realization, simply because of the love that they had for Derrick Rose. But once that reality hits, or once you have that clarity, and then you definitely understand the fact that it wasn't enough. It really wasn't enough, nor it will ever be enough, because this is what you said right here. Rose versus 3 reliable all-stars. And that was it. Like, they couldn't find him a two-way guy. The two-way guy that they had, like I said, his rise came from Derrick Rose's injuries. And he thought, since the main guy is out, I am the guy now. And he has to play with me. I don't have to play with him. And that is where a lot of bumping heads came for the Chicago Bulls and Derrick Rose. So it just Windy City Rundown here on Facebook and on YouTube. I appreciate you guys today for popping up, showing up today in the comment section. The link is somewhere still in the bio, but I appreciate you guys hopping on. Tony, Isaiah, CP, John, everybody in there. Thank you very much for hopping on. But like I said, in all reality, though, CP it's just one of those, and everybody, thank you. It's just one of those situations, guys, where it's just kind of like where do we go now? Like, how do we have faith? Like, do you really have faith in the Chicago Bulls? Because I don't. I really don't. And I think I won't have faith until they go, until the Reinsdorfs go. Unless if we get lucky. And fuck, if we get lucky, then I don't even know if it's even going to work. But the one thing is for sure that Billy Donovan is still the future of the Chicago Bulls. Whatever GM comes in, whatever basketball operation guys comes in, like, Billy Donovan is there. How long will he be there? That is just completely up to the guys that run that team. Because like John said, and he said it earlier in the show, and I got to find his comment somewhere in here, where he says Billy has to go. I think if you bring a whole new regime, I think Billy does have to go. He's a great guy. The only way you keep Billy Donovan is you make him your basketball operations guy. And then he gets his GM, and he gets his people, and he gets his coaches. Because he is a smart basketball guy that, let's be honest, was in the trenches. Look at Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr kind of did it the opposite way, though, right? He learned it through the courts. Then he became the GM of the Suns. Then he went back to coaching for the Warriors. And now look at him, probably one of the best coaches out there. I think if there's an opportunity where he's done coaching and he wants to go to a GM job, I think he will take that too as well, because he's in the know. Like, he is nose to the ground. I think that would happen. CP says the Bears are the only source of light in Chicago, man. NBA season just causes headaches with the Bulls. After Jerry said, it sounds like Billy would be there for the rest of his life. Dude, I believe that too. I genuinely do believe that too. But like, at what cost? You know, like what is his role for the Chicago Bulls? What is his role for the future? You know, is it the GM? Is it is it basketball ops? Is it just head coach, and then 2 years later, a year later, he's gonna get fired because the new GM and basketball operations decide, nah, I want my guy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Is he gonna move his son, Michael Reinsdorf, and let him be the owner of the Chicago Bulls? Yeah, Jerry says the new regime will have to be on board with Billy Donovan. That's how much he loves him. No, 100%. I mean, and look, Billy is a smart guy. Billy's a great guy. Billy's a smart guy. He knows basketball. He was considered for the North Carolina coach. That last week's episode, we were saying, like, Billy, just go, take the job. You need it. Get out of here. Like, we were telling him to leave because he deserves better. He deserves so much better than what he's been treated, especially the last 3 years here in Chicago. Give him an opportunity to build something. But if you want him to build something and you want this to do it the right way, in my aspect, I guess, promote him to basketball ops. Promote him to GM. But it doesn't sound like that's going to happen, especially what Michael and Jerry has said. Like, they have to be on board with what Billy wants to do. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to go on. I truly, it's been a year. It's been a disaster for the Bulls organization for the last 20 years. Yeah, 20 years, give or take in between or whatever. Take out the Derrick Rose, 23 years. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I guess that's what happens when you just disrespect the greatest of all time in Michael Jordan, and then you let not only you let the people of Chicago know, but you let the whole entire NBA organization know too as well. And I truly don't know how much of the Last Dance has affected the Chicago Bulls in some way, shape, or form. But you're talking about, but that's not that much. But you're talking about years and years and years, decades of incompetence from an organization, from when Reinsdorf took over to even when they first were established in '66. You're talking about years, decades, decades. I don't know. I don't know. Give Donovan that Utah or Milwaukee job, and I guarantee they become playoff teams. Definitely Utah, Milwaukee. I think that team kind of ran its course. I think Giannis kind of aging a little rapidly more than usual, and that wear and tear on his body. He may look like a freak of nature, but I mean, you're talking about 12, 13 years of just being at the rim and all that banging and just physical contact that he does on a night to night basis. I mean, it gets to him, but he's been aging kind of quickly in Milwaukee. And obviously there's outside injuries too as well, but like also at the same time, like that's how I see it. But Utah for sure. Milwaukee, I think that ship has sailed. I don't think they're gonna be the Milwaukee Bucks of the last 6-7 years of how they were dominant in the NBA, being in NBA finals and actually winning one, even with Giannis, a healthy Giannis. So yeah. Damn, I'm almost an hour into the show, and all we talked about was the Chicago Bulls. I had like a whole list of things that I want to talk about, but we'll get to that probably next week too as well. Yeah, the Cubs lost Kate Horton for the year. It just seems like the Cubs are just stagnant. In my point of eyes, right now they're winning 6-2 against the Rays out in Tampa. But we'll get into more of that details next week. See what the Cubs do, because I think there is a pitcher out there in Lucas Giolito that's just sitting on his couch, just chilling, vibing. And he was pretty decent last year. It just, what can the Cubs do? Because I feel like the Cubs need to make that move. Like this 5-6, they're about to be 6-6, hopefully after today. Start kind of putting a damper on everybody's feeling of optimism how they had in the beginning of the year, thinking that they're going to be the best team in the NL Central and probably up there competing with the LA Dodgers. But the way how they're hitting, the way how they're looking, the way just even what's going on with Kate Horton, now Matthew Boyd being on the IL, it's just one of those bumps in the roads that you have to go early in the season. Granted, it is early in the season, but it's one of those, like, if you don't get to it right away, it's going to hurt you later on. And I just personally feel like the trade deadline in July is going to be a key factor of how successful the Cubs are going to be on the second half of the season. Once the calendar turns into August. Yes, it's early. Do I really feel like the season's over? It's starting to feel that way a little bit to me because of what I've been seeing. No left-handed thump. Pitching, now you're losing a lot of pitchers that was supposed to be your strength. Yes, Justin Steele's coming back somehow, some later on in the season, but I just feel like it's like things are missing, and losing Horton kind of hurts that aspect of it. CP goes and he says, yeah, like I said, Gio's still a free agent. Yeah. Lucas Giolito is still a free agent. I think he wanted too much money. I think that was one of the reports that I read, that I think he wanted like $25 million a year or something like that. So, I mean, maybe for 1 year, 25 for the Chicago Cubs, who has a fucking corporation outside of their stadium, I think it's well worth getting a 1 year, $25 million. I think $25 million, a 1 year deal is not a bad deal for anybody, no matter how much money it is. There's no such thing as a one bad 1 year deal. Yeah, losing Kate Horton does hurt a lot. I really do believe that. The FIFA World Cup ball that I have right here is the 1986 FIFA World Cup that was held in Mexico. The last time that Mexico had a World Cup was in '86. Maradona won the World Cup that year in a very controversial way, and also in one of the most spectacular ways too as well. The hand of God, the mano de Dios, that was called, scoring the goal with his hand against England in the quarterfinals, I believe it was. And they went kind of on a route being England, so no matter what with that goal or not. But it was also kind of the last appearance of Maradona or seeing Maradona in his prime is what I was trying to get at. And him kind of taking over that World Cup, winning that World Cup in Mexico in 86. That was Argentina's second World Cup that they won, but he also solidified himself as one of the greatest of all time with the performance in that World Cup, even with the gol de mano de Dios. So it's one of those memorable World Cups that a lot of people, even me, that I wasn't even born at that time, but we've seen that time and time again, and historians kind of bring that up a lot more, where you just kind of like, oh shit, it was pretty good. It was good to seeing him in training and playing and stuff like that. Mexico that year still is the last time they were in a quarterfinal matchup. And that's still been looming, that famous fifth game. That's what we all been wanting for Mexico to come in through. So that was the furthest Mexico has been to a World Cup, and basically both the tournaments that they had in Mexico, both quarterfinals, and they both been eliminated. So a lot to get into. But yes, the 86 ball. Like I said, if you see on the screen right here, I have all the World Cup's balls from Adidas. I've been doing them on a week-to-week basis, to where the last ball, the Trionda that we're playing in this year World Cup, will be the last ball that I show the day before the World Cup starts. Mexico versus South Africa in Mexico on that Thursday. So tune in. I'll give you a little history about each and every single ball that I have right here. The next one is the 1991. I'll give you guys a hint. It was back in Europe. Think of the country that I was in that time, outside of Tony, because I know Tony knows which World Cup is that. We will get to wrestling next week. I will sign off for it today. I think I talked way too much today, especially about the Chicago Bulls. I do appreciate you guys so much. As always, guys, please share our shows on your Facebook page. I greatly appreciate the support. Thank you guys for hopping on. Not only sharing our shows on Facebook, but please subscribe to our page on YouTube too as well. Please follow us on all our social media platforms, where we're going to start putting all these types of videos on a consistent basis. So please follow us on there too as well. Please hit the bell on YouTube and on Facebook to get notified when our shows are live. Yes, I do it myself. I get the notifications on my phone that we are live Wednesdays at 7 p.m. I thought Jose was going to join me, but it's all good. I had you guys supporting me today, so thank you very much to CP. Thank you very much, Johnny Boy. Thank you very much, Tony, Isaiah, everybody else that hopped on. I appreciate the love and support. I will be here next week, hopefully with Jose. Who knows? Maybe not. I don't know. We'll get more into it. But yeah, same time next week, next Wednesday. Talk about the NFL and the Chicago and football. We are going to give you guys our rankings of all the best quarterbacks from the NFC and all the NFL, our wide receivers from the NFC North to all the NFL, and so on and so forth. We're going to give you that time. We talk about the NFL draft that's coming up in a couple weeks too as well. WrestleMania conversation for next week. I promise we'll get into that because it is around the corner. For myself, Eric Avila, Jose Contreras out there in the ether, I am. This is Windy City Rundown. We appreciate you guys. I will see you guys next week. Peace. 7 o'clock. Don't forget, hit the bell.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
He's running like he's got a lobster down his pants, showing that he is as slippery as a bar of soap.
Like poop through a diarrhea-infected goose.
Commented about it.
That's fine. I'm not laughing about it. You think this is funny? I take this serious.
I'm not.
Real serious. I put my heart and soul into this every single week.
Are we done here?
It's about time.